Welcome to FarmRPG. Bellogan here. In this video, we're going to talk about Pigx version 2. That's right. You might be saying, but Bellogan, you already did a video on Pigx. You'd be absolutely right. So why are we doing version 2? No, it's not because the mechanics have changed. It's just because additional questions have come up, further analysis has come into play, a massive oversight on my part has been corrected, and so there's some new recommendations on what to do. So we're going to dig into that. So really quick, just to rehash, Pigpen is available when you get to farming level 70. It costs 50 million silver to build. When you have that, you then can buy pigs. They cost half as much as cows. You can have up to 250 at once. Once they hit level 5, you can send them to the slaughterhouse to turn them into bacon. To get feed, you have to build the feed mill. This is available once you hit level 60 farming. It costs 25 million silver to build. So you have 75 million silver off the bat right there that you're out to even start really growing pigs. And then depending on the crops that you put in, you get a certain amount of feeds out. You can start at watermelon for 1 feed each up to broccoli for 24 feed each. Now in the slaughterhouse library entry, there is a lot of information and a lot of math given that goes into great detail on recommendations for maximizing your profit. We had that for cows, and I've recently added it for pigs. Before I get into why these numbers are the way they are though, let's come back to our spreadsheet and look at what matters here, both just to rehash everything if you didn't watch the first video and to talk about what's new. So we start off in our spreadsheet. We've got a table just showing the cost per pig up to your 250th pig. If I scroll all the way down to the bottom at 62,500 silver. We have a quick analysis here on crops showing how much feed they give, how long they take to grow. The way it works out, the number of feed that you get the same amount of feed per hour with your crops. But if you look at the cost per seed, your minimum cost per feed, I should say, when you look at the seed cost, ends up being the cheapest with watermelon. I have an additional tablet over here saying lost profit for feed. And this is just saying if I just sold the crop instead of turning it into feed, how much profit am I losing? So this is already canceling out the cost of the seed for the crop and just your profit straight off of it per feed. And again, looking at this using watermelon, you're losing the least amount of profits versus just selling the crops at watermelon versus broccoli. So they're the ones you wouldn't want to grow them specifically for feed, but if you're getting from pets or quests or other places, sure, feel free to throw them in if you feel so inclined. All right, later on, this whole section of analysis over here, we're going to throw out the window where I was looking at pigs, how much it costs to replace them. This was important because what it shows is that the more pigs you can do at once, the lower your cost to replace the pigs are. And that's really the value in this. So I'm not deleting it from my spreadsheet, but it just showed the profit per pig. And this is assuming you're slaughtering them at level 5. If you're doing 66 pigs per day, 62K profit per pig. If you're doing 21 pigs per day, that's 55 profit. And that's assuming level 5, you're getting 25 bacon per pig. So you've got to figure out if that fits into your inventory limit. The thing I did not do, and I did this with cows right off the bat, is we didn't assume the cost of replacing the pigs themselves in the calculations for figuring out when to slaughter these. And it turns out that makes a pretty big difference because the cost of replacing the pig is significant. When you're looking at the average cost per pig, here I just put these numbers up over here for an estimation. If you're doing 66 pigs, it's 55K silver is your average cost, whereas it's 62.7K if you're doing 21 pigs at a time. And so we threw that into the analysis here later on. So I have the profit versus cost with pigs, and also factoring in your lost profits from seeds and figuring out what your actual profit for pig was. So at level 5, once you factor that in, your profits go from 118. So see, the feed cost wasn't that big of a deal, but the cost of the pig is much more significant. Your profit from the pig is only 53.6K silver. And so that ends up getting maximized when you divide this out per day and how long it takes to get there, right at level 7. So cows are optimized at level 8. Pigs are going to be optimized at level 7. And that holds true whether you're doing 66 per day or 21 per day. Now, the important thing about level 7 that you have to remember is you're getting 45 bacon. So you've got to be really careful at how many pigs you're doing. If you're doing 10 pigs, that's 450 bacon. So if your inventory is 450, don't buy more than 10 pigs a day. There's no reason to, unless you want to keep feeding them for some odd reason, even though you can't slaughter them or you'll lose the bacon if you overflow. So then what we can do is take those values and when you have the actual profit for pig, once you subtracted the cost of the feed, the loss of any profits, and the feed, take that value, that's your total profit for the pig, and you have it as 250 pigs because that's your max divided by the number of days it takes to get there to get your maximum profit per day. And if you're doing 21 pigs, now that requires a pretty large inventory, like 950. I'm assuming you're going to have a larger inventory by the time you're level 70 farming. If not, use a smaller number, but you're going to average out to just under about 2 million silver per day, 1.945 million silver per day as your total profit once you've considered all expenses. So that's the new analysis. Before I was saying just do it at 5 because that's your max silver per day. And that was true if you aren't factoring the cost per pig. But when you hold on to the pig longer to slaughter it, you get more bacon and you aren't paying that cost to replace it as soon. And that's why letting them grow a little bit longer once you factor in the cost of the pig makes it better off to wait. So based off of that, the recommendation is level 7 is a time to do it. And this number here of 1.95 million silver per day is assuming you're doing 21 pigs per day. I talk about that, meaning you've got 945 inventory. If you've got a larger inventory, you can do more pigs per day, go for it. If not, do less. And then these numbers will change just a little bit based on that. But when you look at it compared to cows, the silver per day when it was optimized was 2.5 million silver. It's, 20 some odd percentage less, whatever that works out to be, less valuable than cows. So not quite as much silver per cows, but 2 million a day, it's not free. So there you have it. Your pigs, new recommendation. Don't slaughter them at level 5, slaughter them at level 7. Take 17 days to get there if you have the animal level perk, which you absolutely want. That is a very good perk now. Still need to update my perk tier list. And that's the new updated recommendation. Not because mechanics have changed, because that's new. I keep bugging Firestream saying, hey, we need pork chops added on these. He's hinting there might be something down the road, maybe with cooking, maybe something else to convert bacon. I don't know. I don't think he knows either. He's still thinking about it. We'll see if that ever changes. If it does, we'll do version 3 of pigs. But for now, that's it. Hopefully, if you want to get in the spreadsheet, it is in community guides, the top link there in the library. Takes you to all of my sheets where we do all kinds of calculations on here for my videos. Some of it's out of date. There may be bugs in here. That happens from time to time. But this is the analysis and where it has come from. This is what pigs are worth in version 2. As always, thanks for watching.